Hi everyone, Heather from Naturally Present here. Thank you so much for tuning in. As you can see, a little bit of a grayer day today here in British Columbia where I am, but I still needed to get outside and come and visit my river spot and enjoy the scenery and get some nature. But I wanted to talk today about letting go and the art of keeping that simple. And it's going to be a little bit of a longer video today because I wanted to share a personal story, kind of an embarrassing personal story. So if you like that kind of stuff, stay tuned. So the reason I brought this up as the topic today is that, over the past few months, I've connected with many, many women who often share a sense of not meeting everyone else's ideals of their commitments, and a sense of guilt about not being enough, or a sense of guilt about taking time out for themselves, and how they use that as a block or an excuse, or what they perceive to be a reason to hold them back from really going for their big life goals. And so it hit me that, letting go is an art form that we all need to practice. And so I thought I'd share this little embarrassing story with you. So many, many years ago, I was traveling with a friend, and we had traveled on a plane from Bolivia in South America over to Miami, Florida, during which time I ate a rotten egg and got salmonella poisoning. So that was super awesome. And so I spent about 2-3 days in Miami in a really nondescript motel trying to get through this illness as best I could. And then we had to get on a 3-day Greyhound journey to travel from Miami to San Francisco. So you can imagine I wasn't feeling super great getting onto a Greyhound. Now, I don't know if any of you have traveled on a Greyhound bus on a big journey like that, but it is quite a quintessential experience in one's life. In any case, this was a 3-day bus journey, and as you can imagine, there were a lot of different connections. You get off one bus, you have a few minutes at a McDonald's or someplace with crappy food, and then you get on another bus. So at one point, after, I'm feeling a little bit better, but still not, I'm still not 100%. Salmonella is pretty intense. And the driver comes on and he says, "Okay, folks, we are going to be delayed by 2 hours," and etc. So now, my mind heard this, and I realized we were going to miss our next bus connection. So I immediately went into a downward spiral. If we miss that connection, what's going to happen? Well, it was late at night, so we were going to be stuck in this small town with nothing in it. We were going to be stuck there overnight. There wasn't another bus, and homeless people were going to come up to us, or all these different scenarios ran through my head really quickly. I got very nervous because Greyhound bus stations aren't often in the best areas of town, and I've had some experiences where it has been unpleasant. However, the point of this story is I was getting all worked up about it, and my friend was not taking me seriously. I didn't understand why he wasn't getting on this upset train with me. So I shook my head at him and I said, "I'm going to talk to the driver," and I made my way up to the front of the bus and I explained to the driver, "Listen, we have a connection to make, and if you're late, we're going to miss it." And I told my story. Clearly, he's heard this kind of story probably 100,000 times in his career of driving. Didn't care. "Yes, ma'am, I hear you. Go and sit down, please." So there was no help or no reassurance from him that we were going to be okay. So I went back to my seat. My friend is cracking up at this point. And I'm like, what is wrong with you? Don't you see what's going to happen? If this, then this, and if that, then that, and here's what's going to happen, and blah, blah, blah. And he said, "Let it go." And I looked at him like, "What do you mean, let it go?" And he's like, "Let it go." I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Imagine you pick up a feather and you drop it. That's letting go. It's that simple. It's a choice." And so in that moment, I got it. I let go of the scenario I'd created in my own head around it. And I was joining him in hysterics. I just realized how foolish I had just looked. Now that's a big example, a public example, because I was on a bus with lots of other people, of what can happen when we choose to hold on to something and create a future scenario in our own minds. It's not happening right now. It may come to pass like that, and it may not, we don't know, but it's completely out of my control. And so getting all worked up about it was a waste of my time, a waste of the energy my body actually needed to keep healing the salmonella that was in my system, and a waste of just mental energy and emotional energy getting myself all worked up. So I share that as an extreme example. Hopefully you don't have a story equal to that, but I wanted to share that personal piece just as an example of what we do in our daily life. And so I want to invite you and myself, I do this every day, I try to notice the places where I'm holding on to a possible future reality, or I'm holding on to the way I think I should be, I'm holding on to, well, I can't do this because of that. I'm holding on to these mental constructs, things that exist within my own mind about certain things. I may or may not have actual evidence to prove that they are correct or not correct, but holding on to the idea, the concept of them, really does keep me out of the moment where information about what I actually could be doing or should be doing, or the direction I should be going, or who I should be talking to is there, but I'm not getting that information because I am so caught up in the mental constructs of my own mind. And so the practice for me is really about noticing when I'm caught up in this stream of thinking. I can't go for my goals because of this. I can't take time to work out for myself because I need to take care of my kids. All the different stories that women tell ourselves every day that keep us back, hold us back from what we really truly desire to create. So I provide this just as an opportunity to look at your life and see where there are situations and scenarios where you maybe are holding on to something mentally that you can just choose to let go of and see what happens. Now, it doesn't mean that the outcome is going to be great. It might be, it might not be. But holding on to the mental energy causes the emotions in your body that actually exacerbate that experience that should it come true, should it actually come to pass, you're already worked up. So it's a much larger experience than it necessarily has to be. And our thoughts and our energy really do create our current environment, our experience. And so being aware of what we're putting our attention and our focus on is really, really important. Not to make it a hard chore or a struggle, to try to keep it as simple as letting go, dropping the feather. Sitting back down in your seat and noticing how ridiculous you're being on a public Greyhound bus when there's nothing that anyone can do about the situation except roll with it. Now, it doesn't mean that you're not going to take action to make change in your life, and there are situations that your involvement in will change the outcome. And it's important to move forward on those, of course. But in the moments where it's out of your control, where can you let go a little bit more in your life every day? Where can you let go of excuses and things that you put in your way of you doing what you need to do to make your life better? So it's gotten a little bit long. I'm going to sign off for now. I hope you have a wonderful day and that you have a really great opportunity and a chance to practice dropping the feather. Take care.